Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Make It Make Sense with Chris and Kay. I am Kayla, aka Killer K, aka I ain't a killer, but don't push me for all my Finsta folks.
And I am Chris, aka TT Chris, aka Kristen Celise Johnson. And welcome back to Make Sense, y'all. I can't do it. Kayla's so good at it. You know what? I had it that one time, but ever since then, it never came back. But welcome back.
It has to become like a daily practice.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense because I can't. I haven't gotten around to it. But look, mark my words. One day, y'all gonna come on, and I'm gonna just have it. And y'all can be like, "Dang, she been practicing." Look,
okay,
I'm going right for it.
Miss Susan got it.
That's how we do like that in African music. So
okay, see?
So it just comes naturally.
So that's how we do it.
Yeah.
But welcome back, y'all. As you guys can see, we have two very, very special guests with us this week for today's episode. We have my mom. Most of y'all, if y'all know me, y'all know her. Miss Brenda, aka Chrissy's mom, aka Miss Horvey if you nasty, okay? But don't nobody call her that because I'll fight y'all by my mom, okay? And we also have my dear mother-in-law, Miss Susan, aka Mrs. Oyedeji, okay? Mama in the house. And welcome, guys. We're excited to have you all here for this week's episode of Make It Make Sense. So welcome.
We're so happy to have you all.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Yes, so we have a very exciting topic for you guys this week. So what initially made us reach out to my moms for this episode is that my mom is a frequent watcher of the show. Okay, shout out to her because she be supporting and we truly, truly love and appreciate her. So, we're always asking you guys for different topics that you might find interesting, that you might want to talk about. So she had been watching these videos about, different Black couples, African-American couples that were migrating to African countries and, just trying to see what it's like to build a life there versus building a life in America. So it's definitely a very interesting topic. We watched some videos that we'll talk about a little bit later in order to prepare for the episode. So we wanted to bring them on, just to offer some different perspectives because, Kayla and I are a little bit younger. Our experiences, obviously, we're still Black in America. So we've had very, touch and go experiences, just being Black in this country. But I feel like, for my mom having been here for, X amount of years, she's seen a lot more than we have and experienced probably a lot more than we have. She was present in a time where racial tension and those kind of things were very, very prevalent. Whereas, nowadays it doesn't feel as much in the forefront, even though, y'all know, subtle stuff. We still got to side eye most of these white folk around here. But
microaggressions every day.
Look, period. It's a real thing. So, but yeah, so we definitely wanted to have her on to give her perspective. And then Miss Susan, Mama O, she is originally from Lagos. So she has the perspective of just actually being someone who has lived in African countries and, migrated to the U.S. So we're very excited to get into this topic and just see what those different perspectives are like. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into this conversation.
Yes.
All right.
So like Kristen said, this whole conversation or topic kind of sparked with a conversation that we were having like in a text thread with my auntie Brenda. So Brenda, if you could just like briefly talk about like some of the videos that you've been watching and like what they were talking about, some of their experiences, and then we can kind of snowball from there.
Okay, so as some of your viewers might know, in 2019 was dubbed the year of return by the Ghanaian president, offering African Americans an opportunity to move back to the motherland, to establish businesses, to build businesses, to do trade and, basically build up the African economy. And so I have been kind of, watching it since then. And let me backtrack a little bit. 2019 was the 400th year anniversary of the landing of the first Africans on the American continent. A lot of people think like 17 something, but 1619 was actually the year that the first Africans came to America. And so that's the anniversary that, they were speaking of, the 1619 anniversary. And so I'd been watching, different people, especially celebrities, going back and visiting and, going to the castles and visiting the points of no returns and different places along the coast in Africa. The past couple of years, though, just seeing how the political climate has changed in America, how, during COVID, the George Floyd incident, and Ahmaud Arbery, and, so many other African Americans, seeing them slain and stuff, it just kind of, just make you wonder, what is it like to be in a country where your color is not the first thing that people see?
Yeah.
In the sense that you're not judged first and foremost by your color. So I started kind of, just randomly looking at different videos, of different people who have not only gone back to visit the motherland, but made the decision to move there, and looking at the videos and why they decided to move there. And so I thought it was real interesting because they, definitely piqued my curiosity. And especially, like I said, in the past year or so, just looking at the way, and especially Kristen, because you guys and you and Susan are in Mama O are in Atlanta.
Oh, you can call me Susan.
No,
You're allowed to call me Susan.
I'm allowed to call her Susan. And so you see how they're changing the voting laws, and so the few advances that we've made as African Americans in this country, just seems like they're just trying to roll them back. And so it just got me wondering, what would it be like to go to a country where, at the very least, I can be Black or not Black, for that matter, but just be a person, a woman, So that's kind of what got the ball rolling for me, why I started watching the videos. And I've watched several different people. One of my favorites is watching the Odana Network. There's a young lady on there that hosts different people who have moved from the diaspora, from different places, England and Australia, different places where Black people are, and they're coming, back to Ghana in particular. It seems like Ghana has really done a lot of promotion for people to come back home. They're one of the countries that have done the most promotion for the diaspora to come back and invest in Africa.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple that I like to watch, so Tony and Ayo. and in particular, I started watching them because they moved from Houston, Texas. And so
they're the ones in the videos that you sent us, right?
Right.
Okay.
They've been their move from Houston to Ghana and just giving you the pros and the cons of it, basically. The number one pro for him as a Black man is that he doesn't feel like he's a Black man, and
right.
in Africa. But so there are
he just feels like a man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of videos out there. When he gets stopped by the police, is typically because he needs to get stopped by, a traffic cop or something, but not because of his skin color.
Yeah.
He's not getting stopped because he's a Black man driving. So,
right.
But there are a lot of different videos out there that were people who have made a decision to move back, whether it's from England or whether it's from America, but different people across the diaspora that have decided to move back.
Yeah. And that's an interesting point, because I think that just living and just existing is like literally Mama O had just come back from a trip home to Lagos, and she, called back and was just talking to us, and she's like, you guys, we have to take a trip down here. Like, we have to come together. We got to get the family together, and we got to, take a trip, because Alex is the only one that I think has been back other than Annie. She's the oldest sister.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Annie, she
Instagram.
You said you follow her on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yep, definitely follow Annie. Okay, she got a travel business, y'all. My girl's top notch. I'm gonna go ahead and insert her little link so y'all can go ahead and follow her on Instagram too. But yeah, she was born and raised for about 14 years, I believe, in Lagos, and then she came to America. But she's the only one other than Alex, and Alex was like a real small baby when he went back, so he doesn't even really too much remember it. But she was saying one of the big things was like, you just have to experience being somewhere where everybody is Black, like where you just see Black faces. You don't see, like, you maybe see one or two white people, if that. So, Ma, can you just give your thoughts and your opinions on just like the difference of how it feels being there? Did you feel a big difference like once you came to America? Was that something big that you noticed, or what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, hello everybody. I just came back from Lagos, like she said, and I called back and I said, I haven't seen any other color. All the people that I see are Black people. You guys need to be here to experience this, because to me, it was an eye opener. Mm-hmm. But first of all, I have to say, from the bottom of my heart, for those that came ahead of us to this country and make a way for some of us to come back here.
Yeah.
For all the forefathers, for all the people that were brought in here, by force, because it was not their choice. We had a choice to come. They did not have a choice. And they prepared the way for us.
Right.
I want to say thank you. Yeah. Thank you to all the descendants. Thank you to everybody that have been here ahead of us. We are together. They try to make us seem like we are not together.
Yeah.
Like the African people that just came here, they're just taking advantage of everything. They're too small. They like to go to school. They have to do blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you something. Without those that have been before us, we won't be here.
Yeah.
And it's because of the struggle, the fight of all the leaders in the Black community, that I really like to say brown community, because there is nobody that is Black.
Yeah.
This color is Black.
True.
Every other person, this color is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
White. So I like to say brown, because everybody says, I'm not. I'm brown.
Right.
And I'm always saying that, and I hope I'm bringing that out now, because there's a lot of shades in us. But I always say, well, I don't know what you're saying. I'm brown. That's all I always say. So,
I know that's right.
I want to say thank you. I want to continue to say it's a struggle. But let me tell you something. It is a struggle that is won. It's already won. Because God is the one that, the heart is the Lord and the fullness of it. It is God's land. Everywhere we go belongs to God. And anywhere you go, you could make it. No matter whatever it is going on. I always tell my husband something. I say, look at Obama. Didn't you think he went through the craziness? Mm-hmm. But you know what? It's stomach it, because the picture that he's trying to portray is bigger than what they're trying to bring onto him. It's bigger. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when you see the bigger picture, you know that people are going to throw a lot of stuff at you. But you know what? Be focused. Don't let any distraction take you, or focus on what you want to achieve in life. When we first came here, we didn't come here. I didn't even know anything about prejudice, honestly. Wow. Because, like I said, predominantly everybody in Nigeria is Black. Yeah. I'm originally from Lagos, Nigeria. What we have is tribalism. That is, we have people from the north, from the south, from the east, and from the west. And, it's so funny. Human beings are the same. People always want to say that I am ahead of you.
Right.
You know, we're all the same. You know, everybody wants somebody to rule over.
Yep.
Think about it, all of us. So we have our own in Africa and in Nigeria, especially. I think in Africa, really, we have our own problems. Yeah. And it's because it's lack of love.
Yeah.
Lack of love. You have to love the other person to be able to say, I will lay down my life or I will open the way for you. Yeah. There's lack of love. So I've never experienced prejudice. I've never experienced tribalism in the minimum because I don't, I stay in Lagos. I don't travel too much. If I travel to another state, probably like I spend like a week and I'm back to Lagos.
Gotcha.
So it's just like over here too, some states you've not been, so it's the same way. So when we first came here, I arrived in New York. From New York, I came to Atlanta, Savannah, Georgia. And then from Savannah, I went to Houston, Texas to meet my husband. Really, we're so naive, most of us. We don't know prejudice. We don't understand it when African American that are here are saying something. We don't understand it. We cannot comprehend it because we were never here. Nobody taught us. Nobody, said anything to us. Even some of our people, leaders that came here before and they came to school here, they didn't come back over there to teach us anything.
Yeah.
You understand? We don't know. So we always tell our children, don't marry anybody from America. Because we don't know.
Yeah, because
even though they're black, we just don't know, especially when they are black. We don't want to associate ourselves with them. Yeah. And it takes guts, because we were not taught, and I feel like people should teach others and adopt one another and let us understand that, no, we'll look at people like, oh, they low life or they do this or they that. That is what we see on TV.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That is what we see on TV. Even though we have other musicians when I was growing up, Shalaman, my husband understand, all of them come to Nigeria. We go to watch them.
Oh, wow.
And we love America. We just love America. It does not matter. So when we come over here and people say they don't love America, it's like America is the in thing all over the world.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to come here. Until when they get here, they see the suffering. They say like, you should have been where you are, and try to make things happen where you are. But every one of us always think it's greener on the other side.
Right.
Yep.
Yes. Always.
Yes. So that's why we came. We came for exploration. We came for schooling. We came for a lot of things. So, and when we got over here, we didn't understand the struggle that African American ahead of us have to go through. And we have to start learning it ourselves. Yeah. And it took my son, Victor, he have a program called Unstrip Voice, I think.
Yep.
And he's always talking about Black people. And I'm like, why are you doing this? People are people. Why are you trying to separate? And I didn't understand because he went to school. He was born here. He went to elementary school here. He went to high school over here. And it was later on that I found out that they were being discriminated against. And I did not know that.
Yeah.
And then they make fun of their name. They make fun of the way they talk. And I'm like, no, you're American. They say, Mom, you don't understand. And we never did. And when they come home, they don't even tell us. And I guess even if they do tell us, we would not understand. Because we were never here. We didn't go through what they went. I didn't go to elementary school here. I didn't go to high school here. You understand? I'm already over 20 years old before when I came. I'm, 20 plus when I came here. So I'm already set in my ways. So now when I started having children, I don't know how to teach them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to associate with that like, oh no, I guess it's a colonial mentality because Nigeria was colonized by British.
Yeah.
And anything that is, a different color, like English people, it's like they're superior.
Yeah.
That was the way we saw it.
Yeah.
Back in Nigeria too, they live in the best places. That's when you see them in the golf course. You know what I'm saying? So you always look at them as superior.
Yeah.
But when I came over here, African American opened my eyes more so to see that no, we are all equal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching President Lincoln, and the thing that shaped his mind was when he saw when they brought slave, when he first went to Louisiana and saw slave brought in. And then he read a book that said all men are created equal.
Mm-hmm. They
And
didn't follow that
that
though.
was his fight. And that's why he kept losing, because he kept saying, and people don't see it. And now, when I came to Atlanta, that's when I started experiencing more so, because back in Houston, we have our own little community. We don't have necessarily have to go out of that community.
Yeah.
You understand? We could go to work, and that's about it. And then we always had that closeness together. So we didn't experience too many of it.
Yeah.
And now that I met my beautiful ladies, Chris and the other girl,
Sure.
I appreciate it more. And I started telling myself, my children are African American also.
Yeah.
What would it be like if somebody saying, don't go with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they told us when we first came here.
Yeah.
And we had a prejudice against our brothers and sisters that we have the same color, pigmentation. And then it's like in Christian, we know that I'm very, very spiritual. And the Lord started telling me that same way they look at your children also.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to change my perspective.
Yes.
And I have to change my ways. And I have to accept people more. And I have to start saying, we got medical doctor, we got lawyer, we got business people in the Black community.
Yep.
My children went to school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They didn't even hear the story about the Black Wall Street, and they went to school there for 5 years.
Wow. Shoot, I didn't learn about Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yep.
They didn't know none. I'm like, when I told my children, I said, we went to that neighborhood, but nobody tell the story.
Yeah.
Until after the recent unrest, that's when everything started coming out, and we are educating ourselves. I'm so glad we are having this conversation today. And it's not to bash anybody,
right,
or to bash any race,
right?
Because everybody, if you look at the civil war or civil unrest of this country, you will know that people fight for this country too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You understand? And I just want to say, I always want to say that I appreciate all our brothers and sisters that were ahead of us.
Yep,
And then and I can now tell you, if you want to go to Africa,
let's plan a trip. Let's plan a trip.
It is
for sure.
So sweet. It is so sweet that I can't tell you enough. They have their problem.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody that don't have something.
Exactly.
But to say that you are not judged by the color of your skin, no.
Yeah.
I was telling Alex, they want African American to come home. They will get the best job, really. And then we will start now saying, just because they're from America, that's why you're giving them all the jobs.
Right.
We're going to turn against you guys. So
we don't want that either.
We don't want that.
I'm just saying. So that, so I was telling Alex, I say, that, they knew that you've been to it's always good to go to experience the two worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
It's very good. I always tell people if you're in Nigeria, travel one time to the European country or to America. You have to experience, you have to value what you have.
Yeah. Wherever you are.
Yes, that's why I say, over here to go home, I call home Africa, to go and see what's going on. And you will really appreciate what's going, And I went to Barbados. I was telling everybody in Barbados, I said, you all look like Nigeria. You all look like Nigeria. They say, well, that explains it because the first ship from Europe stopped in Barbados. They all look just like us. I'm like, I don't want to leave this city. It's like God created Barbados. No Nigerian people are coming over here, and He created an atmosphere for them.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to go, because my called us from Barbados and they were having a grand time. It was beautiful there.
The people were nice. They just like us. And I said, God, you are just awesome. They build their building just like we build our building. They have the same climate. I said, I can't even fathom this. God sees ahead of us.
Yeah.
So, so let me be quiet.
No, actually,
we
I feel like
it.
Yep, absolutely. And I feel like that's the perfect kind of segue into, our next discussion, just discussing whether or not we feel like it's, prudent to build more Black spaces here in America, or should we be looking to, return back to Motherland and go back to African countries in order to build, if we want to create more of a fresh start, so to speak. So, Kayla, I'm gonna go ahead and get your thoughts on this first, and then we'll bring them in. But as far as us being the kind of millennialist generation, I feel like we'll have a little bit of a different perspective. I'm excited to see what everybody has to say, but I'm curious, Kayla, what you feel like. Do you feel like it's possible to build that kind of freedom here and be in America? Do you feel like we'll ever have a time where Black people in America will feel the freedom to just exist, and we don't have to feel like that pressure, of just being Black and brown people here? Or do you feel like in order to really truly get that, that's something that we'll have to migrate back to African countries for?
So this is something that I think about very often. I do love to travel, and so it's always in my mind, even before this conversation that we're having today. And I try to be a typically optimistic person. I'm living in America right now, so I try to be as optimistic about my situation and whatever space that I'm in the present moment. But at the same time, I feel like no matter how many Black spaces we cultivate in the United States, I feel like the country is built on racism and classism. Yeah. And so unless everybody is on the same page about dismantling that, which is very unlikely because it's not just Black people, you know what I'm saying? Everybody would have to be on the same page, people in power as well. But why would people in power give up their power when they benefit from it the most? You know what I'm saying? So if we're being completely honest, I think no matter how many Black spaces we create here, we'll never truly experience just being Black and free until we go somewhere else where there are all Black people with shared experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give my little 2 cents as part of this generation as well. But I honestly, I'm gonna be on the opposite end of Kayla from this one, because I see. So we live in kind of the Roswell area of Atlanta. If you're not familiar with Atlanta, it's really hard to explain, but it's kind of a very nice suburbs. There are so many spots here that are really, really nice suburban places. But they're full of white people. So you really don't go into a lot of these spaces and see Black people, where it's just shopping malls and little boutiques and restaurants. You go, literally we drive 10 minutes up the street and there's this little beautiful little spot with just different small businesses, boutiques, restaurants, just little shops. And I drive through these places and I'm just this is just all we need. This is what Black people need, I feel in order to feel that freedom. We don't have to conquer that everywhere. I feel we are more than capable to just create our own spaces and just have them, and feel that freedom. And I might go to Virginia or Kansas or Boston and, experience, that racial prejudice again. But I do feel it is possible to still live freely here. I feel it comes down to us creating those spaces for ourselves and really, truly being dedicated to it. And when I say creating those spaces for ourselves, I mean fully ourselves. I feel Jewish people have their own little communities of places where it's only Jewish people. I feel like Asians have it. I feel like Hispanics have it. And in certain points, I feel like there are, Black spaces like that, but I don't feel like that there's a lot of them. Like, I can't just know, like, oh, okay, well, when I go to Chicago, I'm gonna go here because I know that's where like I can go to shop Black and I can go to eat Black and I can go to bars and, restaurants and stuff. And I always know that I'm gonna be welcomed with open arms because I'm all surrounded by my people. But I think that's possible. I think it just takes, like you said, it takes everybody being on the same page about that one. It takes the economics, because I think that's like the biggest struggle of Black people is just like us being able to economically support each other. And I'll ask Mama O to touch on that because, one thing that she was explaining to Alex and I a little bit ago was that, one thing she loves about being at home in Lagos is that you really never want for anything. Like, everybody around you, you pretty much know, and everybody is always willing to help each other. And she compared it to the hood because that's really how it is. Like in hood communities, everybody look out for each other for the most part, but it's just so defeated because of the poverty and because of the violence that happens to be there as well. But just imagine if we had those communities without the poverty, without the violence. It's just, I definitely feel like it's possible. It would just, take a whole lot of dedication, education, and wealth, honestly. Once we get the wealth, I feel like, and we get the right leaders involved, because that part too. I feel like it's definitely possible, something I could see us having. So yeah, overall, I feel like it comes down to the economics. It comes down to everybody being on the same page about just, visualizing the kind of spaces we want to see each other in and really working together in order to get there. But overall, I really do think it's possible. I could absolutely, see me walking and spending a night out on the town, and I go downtown and it's just beautiful brown skin everywhere. Okay. And I walk into the club. It's no fighting, no violence. And later on, maybe me and my girls want to go get brunch and it's just brown and beauty and mimosas everywhere. And, I can see that for us. So like I said, I think it comes down just to the economics, getting together and, everybody really just being on the same page about it.
Yeah. And let me backtrack just a little bit, because I do feel like in my mind, that would be in a perfect world, right? Like if everybody was on the same page, because I always say, like, if I stayed in America, I would have to get like a farm because I want to be completely self-sufficient. Like I want to be in a space where I can buy some land and just me and my family grow our own food, harvest our own things and have animals or whatever. But I just want to be completely self-sufficient and not have to rely on like the government and stuff like that. But in reality, that's not the case for everyone. Like some people don't want to do that, or some people, like everybody's not going to be in the financial state to do that, or don't even think that is a possibility. And so in a perfect world, I could see that. And it has, that was something in the past. I don't remember exactly what like the town was called, where it was like predominantly, if not all Black people in America. They were all Black owned shops and things like that. But I think it got like destroyed or burned to the ground. Black Wall Street, yeah. Exactly. But
they're not about to be bombing nobody in this day and age. Okay.
I wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't put it past them. Like I think that it was able to be covered up back then, but in the age of like social media right now, I feel like it could be like the government doing something like that, and then it'd be a blanketed. Like it wouldn't be as blatant, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't put it past them. Like if they see all these Black people migrating to this area and thriving and not utilizing like the government's resources anymore or as much, I wouldn't be surprised if some white people came in.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, you had something to say?
Huh? That was actually going to be my question. Is do you think, because we had those. We had thriving communities, all Black communities where we lived together, doctors, lawyers, teachers, nurses, janitors, where we where our dollars circulated in our community in time or left outside of the community. So we had self-sufficient, self-sustaining communities, but every time we built them, they were destroyed, or eminent domain, and they took over the area and flooded them and made them lakes.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of at a point at my age, 60 years old, where I'm just like, how long do we keep fighting this fight? Part of me is like, we built this, so we need to fight for it because we built it. Literally. Africans built this country. Our descendants, we're descendants of people who literally built this country brick by brick. Some of the greatest inventions that have come out of the 20th century, or even before, have been African people who, lived in America, who helped build America. So, but at what point do you just, get tired of the fight, where you're constantly seeing us fight for things that we should automatically have a right to have, that just it in a space to exist. And also, this is the thing too. So you were talking about our economics and stuff like that. When you are 400 years behind the 8 ball, and I was looking at a clip of a sermon that he likened African American situation to a Monopoly game. He used a Monopoly game as an example. So he said, I can play the game, I can be on the board, but if I can't buy any property on that board, I'm not going to be successful, and eventually I'm going to get put out the game.
Yeah.
So 400 years of being on the board, but not being able to play the game through systemic things that they have done to us over the years. How do we catch up from an economic standpoint? And even to the point where, we present these ideas to our government officials and stuff. For instance, one of the big reasons why I voted for Biden was that whole eliminate student loan debt. And I'm sure a lot of you did also. And now they're like, well, maybe we can't do it.
Right. Now they're trying to renege.
If you can't give us what we're owed as descendants of Black people in America, you could at least give us free schooling.
Right.
At least.
You can at least give us free schooling. You can at least give us the housing loans that we should have been entitled to when other people were immigrating over here and getting property and loans and stuff that we never got after we worked the soil, after we built this country. So that's, I'm torn because, like I said, I'm torn with the thought that we should fight for what we built, and keep fighting because we built it. This is, our part of our country. Aside from the Native Americans, we are the only, the people who are treated the worst, who had the most right to be here and to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just, I struggle with that. Do we stay and fight, or do we get up out of here and leave these people to their devices and let them have this?
And then, I'm sorry to cut you off, Auntie. One more thing too, and like the most, like my most like baseline reason also is, and I was just having a conversation with my friend about this the other day, about how sometimes people in our friend group don't feel the need to travel when there's so much world out there. And so that got me thinking, like, if I'm experiencing these things and seeing Black people killed and seeing them on unequal playing fields, why would I stay here? In just like the simplest terms, you know what I'm saying? Where I can go somewhere else where I'm not judged by the color of my skin or like where I come from. why would I? When I could go a few countries over and see all Black people. You know what I'm saying? All Black people thriving. Why would I stay here?
Yeah, and that's not just. I was looking at this other video. It was like the top 10 places that African Americans are moving outside of the United States. So it's not just that they're going back to Africa, but they're going to, know, Grenada, and they're going to Belize, and other countries where there's a large segment of African Americans thriving in those areas where, number one, they don't fear for their lives for whatever reason, be it from the violence, the inner city violence, or the violence in our communities that was brought on by systemic stuff, or by the hands of police, and just systemic things in general, where, I go to a mall and me and the white boy get in the fight, and I'm the one to be in handcuffs and drug away. You know what I'm saying? So, but there are other places, like you said, that Black Americans are going to as well. Yeah. So it's not just to Africa, but I definitely look at Africa as a place that we as a people should, and African Americans in particular, should invest in. If I could start a business there, even if I don't live there, if I have money to put into Africa to start a business or whatever, start it there, as opposed to, in the States. Live in the States if you want to and start your business there. But I just think we need to look at not just America at this point, but
yes.
And then I just want to, play devil's advocate just a little bit about that, because, I don't want to negate the fact that one of the big reasons that so many people do migrate to America is for the opportunity, is for the education. I don't think I'm wrong to say that we all love this country. Like, I don't want it to seem like we don't love being here. We don't love being Americans. What we don't love is how America treat, not even America, how the people with the power and the money treat us. That's really what the issue comes down to. And, that fight, I don't know. Truly, I don't know if that's something we'll ever be able to truly see a difference in. I don't know if the white men in power will ever, slow down or relinquish even just a little bit of it in order for more, minority spaces to thrive. But I mean, honestly, people are continuously still migrating here. Like, I feel like the migration numbers just continue to go up. So, and it's minority people. So the country is going to be full of minorities very, very soon. Like, I think, I want to say 2025, Hispanics are like expected to be the majority race in the country.
But a lot of them are going back home.
As they should.
Did not know that, but I mean, and it's understandable. It really is understandable, and you hate to see it because there are just so many things I feel like there is to love about the country. But Mama O, I want to hear from you a little bit, just because we only have the perspective of being only here, and none of us have ever lived in another country. And I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be a lot different. I think, the perspective is just going to be a little bit different, because you tell me, Alex, all the time, like, y'all have so much opportunity here, just use it. And I do think sometimes we do try and get you to see, well, yeah, the opportunity is here, but sometimes it's not always available to us like people might think it is. That's not really, necessarily from this country. But I do think there is. It's just it is an abundance of opportunity and resource here. And I wish that it was just more accessible. I wish we had the education to know like exactly how to access these things. And then when we go for them, I wish it was easily given to us like it is for other races. But can you just give us your perspective a little bit just about, as far as just the opportunity, what you think about all of it?
Well, I think there's an opportunity here. One of the things that I noticed, because when I first came, um, we get into the rat race of the
Yeah.
system. And once you start doing that, you mess up your credits, you mess up a lot of stuff. And I feel like people that come after us, they haven't messed up their credits, they could get a house like that.
Yeah.
Because we taught them not to do what we did.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? Like Alex, them are the second generation. We're like the first generation of people, you know. So I feel like there's a lot of opportunity. And one of the other things that I notice is that even when they have government program, remember I always say about so many programs that you can go through. But the thing that is so funny is that when you have a job and you're working, they won't give it to you. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
No, they only want you to use their resources when you can fully rely on them.
You don't have a job, or when the system that they have one over here in Roswell, that they could send you to school for like a training for $10,000, at least up to $10,000 for free. But the criteria is that you have to not make certain amount of money for the last 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's how they get you though.
These young people, they're doing they work in the restaurant. They do make money, but they don't want to use that money they're going to use to pay rent and stuff like that to go to school.
Right.
So why are you penalizing them for having a job?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's,
the program is there, but they make it so difficult for people that really want to do something to access the program.
Yeah.
Yep.
To me, it's craziness. Yes, they do have the program, and every year they take the money, they send the money back. And I feel like they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
It's the catch.
You see what I'm saying? So another thing I noticed, another thing I noticed is that, because I remember when they were all working, you guys were in Atlanta, and you guys have a job and all that. I said, why don't you go? Then I went to the program. It's like, if you make certain amount for the last 3 months, you're not qualified. They want to go to a training. They should be qualified.
Yeah.
They have a job. Those are the people they're not on the street just doing craziness.
Right.
They want to come here. And I'm talking about not just people that are here, people that their parents goes to work. They have 2 jobs. The children are growing on their own. There's program. Your mom is making too much money right now. You don't qualify for this. But I want to go to school. If this resources is available, why don't you just give it to me?
Yeah.
And let me go do it. Why are you making it difficult? And remember this guy that passed away from Atlanta,
John Lewis.
John Lewis had to tell them that they have money for mortgage for people that during the pandemic, and you making it so difficult for them to access the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The money is there. Everybody pays taxes.
Yeah. And where that money going?
And then you should help them with this money. Why are you making it so difficult?
Yeah.
Then I always tell Kristen, I say, let me tell you something. I pay taxes. If anything is available for me to get, I'm going to try to get it.
Yeah.
I am going to try. I'm
that's right.
I'm really going to try because I pay taxes. Yes. At the end of the year, they're going to penalize me for this and that. But if you give them money, because if you don't use that money, guess what? They're going to use it to go fight war.
Yep.
So I always tell my brothers and sisters, African American brothers and sisters, be wise. The program is there. Just have to look for it. Just be wise. Use it to your advantage because, like Ms. Brenda said, Black people, brown people, African American built part of the people that built this country.
Mm-hmm.
There are access for things. Look for it and take advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's there. You just have to, like my children always say, Mom, you like to finesse yourself. You just finesse. Whatever they say. They always tell me.
Yep.
I'm
you
like,
have to.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
I say, you just have to say, what is in Roswell? and I'm going to go to the government area. And then one thing about us is that we tell one another, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Because we let you know, this is what's going on. This is what they're doing right now. You need to apply for it.
Yeah.
You don't have to kill yourself. Apply for it. Be wise.
Yep.
Just be wise. If you're in Chicago, there are programs out there, but they're not gonna nobody's gonna give it to you. You have to look for it. You have to find it, and you have to take advantage of it for yourself.
And finesse, yeah, because you got to figure out how to get through the loophole so that you can get to it in a way that you don't have to be relying on it.
Look at Trump. He said, "You the one. You guys have been in government all this time. I am just taking advantage of what you put out there. They do it all the time. Why are we not doing it?"
Yep. But that's because they have the education too. And that's why I also said education is such a big part of like us being able to really, find that kind of freedom and wealth that we're looking for. Cause I've been listening, cause we talk about doing real estate a lot, and I've been listening up on just like a bunch of real estate podcasts. And I was recently listening to an episode of one of them. It's called Rants and Gems. And they were discussing how Black people, I think like 60% of African Americans in this country are renting property. Which means, there's only 40% of us that actually own something, and property and land is the number one way to generate wealth in this country.
Yep. It is number one.
Boom. It's the way to do it.
People don't realize the value of ownership.
No. Absolutely not, because we're not really taught that. Like,
but then go ahead, Mom. I'm so sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
I remember TD was saying something over the weekend, and he said, because of the way we are conditioned.
Yes.
And we have been in that state for so long that we don't even understand how to get what we want.
Yeah.
Even when we do know how to get it, we don't know how to access what we want.
Right.
And even when we do know how to access it, we are so comfortable.
So conditioned.
We are conditioned. I did my real estate. I was always telling. I did my real estate class a year ago. I like my job. I don't want to go after it.
But you want it.
Yeah. When I came back from Nigeria, I said, I want to travel. and real estate, if I'm a realtor, that would afford me what I want.
Yeah.
Right? That's all this school. They say, oh, you have to retake the class. And I say, really? And then in my mind was telling me, yeah, you got to get your butt up. You got to do it. Nobody going to do it for you. You have to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 60 this year. And I feel like this is just the beginning of the best of my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the beginning of it. Yeah. Because the thing is that, yes, I've been conditioned in one way, but now I want to recondition myself, my mind.
It's never too late.
From the mind. Do you understand? And I always tell Chris, you guys have so much opportunity. Don't let what the process in this country, or what you're going through, or what you have been through, don't let it stop you.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't stop yourself. Yeah. I always say, look at Obama with a funny name. But you know what helped him? First of all, we know his grandparent raised him, and they're white.
Mm-hmm.
So you already understand the system.
Yep.
Then he went to Chicago to find out how to be somebody from nothing.
Yeah.
But before he went to Chicago, remember his mother took him to Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
He saw poor people.
He saw
people that don't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Then he look at him and say, like, I am blessed.
Yeah.
That's when he moved to Chicago. To really see how his people with his own skin color, how they're living, and that's where he got his training.
Yeah.
Let me fast forward. In Nigeria, we have class. Don't tell me, everybody have class. Every society have their own class.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Every society do have a class. Mm-hmm. And it is you that will say, you know, what is stopping me from being part of that class?
Right.
What is stopping me? And I understand what everyone here is saying. Please, you need to visit either Ghana or Nigeria. But since we are family, you all should come to Nigeria. You
True.
need to, I'm telling you, there's a guy called Davido. He's born in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I love him.
And he told some of his musician friends when they were in the studio, there's this guy, I will remember her name, you'll know her song. I want to be a millionaire, millionaire. I forgot that, but please forgive me, my Nigerian people, because this is a person that I should remember her name, but you know. They met at the studio right here in Atlanta, and he told her, move back home. You're not going to make it here. Move back home. Because the music industry has a lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move back home. And this girl now she's a multimillionaire in Nigeria. Yeah. And come here and go. Davido, multimillionaire, his father took him to school in Alabama. He left school and went back to Lagos.
Yeah.
He just want to make music. And now it's a big time person. You know what I'm saying? So there's opportunity for us. And I see a lot of things, a lot of people now, a lot of African American that their father is American and Nigerian, and their mom is African American. And I met a young girl, and she said, "Oh, I was speaking Yoruba to her." So my friend said, "No, she doesn't understand." I said, "Why?" She said, "Oh, her mom is African American, and she just came to visit for the first time." I said, "Really?" I said, "Are you enjoying it?" She said, "Oh, I love it here. I love it here." She loved it.
Yeah.
And I felt like, some of my friends' children, they have online job. They stay in Nigeria and they work with companies over here and they get paid dollars.
Good money, yeah.
Figure it out. You could get a house over there, even if you rent, with your 2 months rent of this place for a year.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Look.
I'm out of here.
It sounds like, in conclusion,
I was telling my husband, I said, we pay how much here? And we were looking at some nice places back in Nigeria, even just for rent, temporary. Nice places. I said, that's how much we pay here for like 2-3 months.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And so you just have to, you have to be smart with it.
Yeah.
You have to find a way that even when you go over there, you're still making money in America, but you're spending it over there.
And that's it. I think that's really what it comes down to. And I feel like that seems like what everybody kind of like.
You take stuff over there and do business over there.
And do business there.
Whatever you know how to do, it sells. Because Nigeria have over 200 million people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. And that's the other thing about it.
Who is going there? Facebook is going there. Twitter is going there.
Yeah.
Microsoft is going there. Everybody is there because, you have over 200 million people. That is money.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
And the only problem we have is that we have bad leadership. And that's all over the world.
That's everywhere. Yeah. And I wonder how they would feel if Americans came there and like wanted to get more involved in leadership and that kind of thing.
They love America.
Wow. I mean, that's good to hear because they
love African. Don't you see all those musicians? Don't you see Jay-Z and his wife? They are always going there.
Yeah, going to African
countries. Nigeria all the time.
Yeah.
All of them go. They love Nigerian people are just so, it's like what you say in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
In the hood, Nigeria is the hood,
just love the community.
We're always together, we're always in the store, we are always doing something and
y'all know how to party.
I love it.
Look,
because
we love the
I have been trying to.
December in Nigeria is pretty fun.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that since I've been in college, like I was pretty close to like some Liberian and Ghanaian girls in college. Like they were in my really close circle. And people would just talk about like, yeah, I'm trying to get back there in December. And I'm just like, why is it in December that everybody's trying to go there? Until I realized what was going on. I'm like, oh, we gotta go.
Trying to tell you. The turn up.
And don't let them scare you, because before I left, people were saying there's so much kidnapping over there. I said, really? In my country, before you kidnap me, I'll kidnap you.
I know that's right.
Because you have to understand that I have the American mentality now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why I say you can't fool it. You can't outsmart someone that is coming from the. I always tell, you know what I tell my friends over there, and people try to think they're trying to outsmart me.
Mm-hmm.
I say, first of all, I'm in Nigeria. I was raised here.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is that I am coming from America. You think I'm stupid?
Because we know a hustle when we see it, okay?
Right.
I can read you like a book as soon as you come, because I have the mentality of coming from here. And at the same time, I know how you all think over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I always say that everybody needs to go.
Yeah, for
Save
sure.
your money. And it doesn't cost that much. Any can hook you up.
Look, shout out to our girl Annie again.
Yeah,
okay,
like a group. We all can go like a group. You know,
for
we
real,
can plan it. Yeah,
we definitely have to plan a family trip.
That much.
Yeah,
and we just get a whole Airbnb bigger, because there's a lot of Airbnb right now in Lagos.
Yeah,
that you don't even have to. You just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we need to have to talk with Annie.
I'm trying to tell you, she will hook us up. Okay, she the plug for the travel. Okay, so we'll absolutely
another place that you all need to go to.
You said where? Oh, Barbados.
Yeah,
Barbados.
Look at Barbados.
I want to go so bad.
Yes, it was so beautiful, and I just saw the pictures.
7 hours from Miami. 6 hours from Miami.
Oh, okay.
And 6 hours from New York.
That's not bad. That's a quick trip. Kayla, you said you wanted to share an experience real quick.
Yeah, so just a quick experience that I've had that kind of introduced me to sometimes the different ways that African, Native Africans and African Americans perceive each other sometimes is when I was in college, and it just seemed like it was just a difference in experience and maybe being a little bit uninformed, but there was a little bit of tension between some of the girls on my campus because we were doing a Black Lives Matter rally and protest, and we were asking for all of the support from people on campus. And so there were a few girls that I knew that were from Ghana, and we just there was a lot of tension between us because they didn't understand why we were doing what we were doing. But I mean, in hindsight, and then after having the discussion with them, we realized that it was just because they had never experienced, Miss Susan, like you said earlier, that prejudice before. And so this was our freshman year. So after spending some more time on campus and having conversations with other Black and brown people on campus, they realized oh, this is what you guys maybe have gone through your whole lives or gone through on campus. And now we're able to more understand it because we empathize. This is something that we're experiencing as well. So I just want to share that, and then anybody else can share their opinions or what you all think needs to happen in order for, me, for example, I want to live abroad. I want to live in another country, specifically in Africa, maybe Ghana or Nigeria. And so what do you guys think needs to happen in order for us to just kind of come together and get on similar mindsets, I guess?
I think I would love to see us all over the world. I mean, kind of like we are, that there is a choice, but whatever choice you make, you feel good about being where you are. You know, if I've always wanted to visit New Zealand, I've always wanted to visit New Zealand. I'm a big Hobbits fan, so they
have a woman prime minister too.
Yeah, so I just want to go to New Zealand. I want to see what it's like there. As you know, we're all over the world. There are Black people pretty much on every continent. There is a diaspora of people who have come from the African continent everywhere. But to feel comfortable in your skin, in the space, that's what my hope and my dream is for everyone. Do we all need to come together and figure it out? I think as African Americans, though, we need to definitely look at as a collective, what do we want to do? You know what I'm saying? And I'm only saying that because of the climate here in this country. Now the political climate is just absolutely nuts, and you just get tired of fighting the fight. You get tired of seeing your boys and girls too, being killed by police officers. And I don't have nothing against police, not at all.
Family full of them.
Family full of police officers. So I'm not knocking police. I'm knocking the system. Yeah. And until we address, because America continues to not want to address the slavery
or change the system.
They don't want to address how foul America has been. As wonderful as America has been, as great of a country as it has the potential to be, we can't be as great as we say we are or think we are until we address the systemic racism that is at the underbelly of this country. So until we can, and now, and when I say political climate, now I'm just thinking about everything that they're trying to do, rolling back all of these different laws, and talking about critical race theory, something that's not even taught in school, but you're going to use that as an excuse so that you could take African American history out of school because you don't want your white kids to feel uncomfortable about systemic racism. So it's things like that have gotten me to the point where I'm like, maybe we just need to cut our losses and, just figure out what we want to do and just start making plans to migrate to other places. Let them have this country.
So do you feel?
I feel too, because sometimes, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, go ahead.
I mean, sometimes
I was saying
sometimes I feel like I said, I'm torn because we built this place. We built this.
And, but that just means we can go somewhere else and build something else too.
Right.
Now, okay.
Exactly. And that's what my thinking is. As you say, a global citizen, so that when you have to go, you can go.
Yeah.
Make preparation.
I feel like there's a lot of opportunity now through the social media, because of the internet. You could one of these things I know is that dollar is very powerful. Pounds is very powerful. Try to do whatever you could do, make some money over here, and then use it to fund what you need to do in life.
Yeah.
Even though that is as crazy as it sounds, you could do stuff on the internet that could just bring you, at least afford you to be able to travel.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
We don't need in life. We don't need too many things. We have too much. If you look at all our closet, I think I have 2-3 closets in this place. And I keep telling myself, we don't need all this. I could use that money and save it and use it to buy, So let me travel. Let me get out of this country. Let me go let me go see the world and see what's going on. And then when you come back, you relax and it's like, this is not what I want. And let me go visit again and see what I really want. Because my thing is that I really want to be in 2 places. I can't be in 2 places at one time, but I can, like, who's that musician that moved away? Is it Tina Turner? Frank, Switzerland.
Yeah. She checked up the deuces to America.
It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them that do that. One is in Kenya. What's her name? The one she just had a baby recently. That
in Kenya?
I'm so good. I'm not that good.
That's okay. We'll look her up later.
Yeah, and she's. I mean, they're living their best life. They still come to US, and then you could make a home in both places when you're tired of like, okay, I don't want to deal right now.
Yeah.
Let me go over there.
Yep.
You know, even those people that you share with me that are in Ghana, I'm pretty sure they still come back here for visit and go back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the best. That's the best way.
They actually still have their property in Houston. They lease it.
Yes. And
Yeah.
the best thing is to raise
that's income for them.
Yes. And the best thing is to raise your children over there. And that's one of the things I regretted, that we didn't take my children back home.
Yeah.
To let them live there for and then come back here for college.
Yeah.
We were thinking that everything is here in the States, until then we found that there's a lot of values that and not because they don't have it, it's just because of the system. They don't allow you to discipline your children the way you want to, because people are abusive too. They abuse their children.
Right.
So I understand, because back in Africa they don't have that law. In Nigeria, they do have it, but they don't enforce it. Unlike here, they do enforce it. And so because we thought like we can discipline our children when they were younger the way we really wanted to, because all we hear about is that they're going to call 911 and they send you to jail. So because of that, we just like, we
they had that when we was growing up.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. Or it stopped after our age group.
That happened after our generation, okay? Because we got the belt. Yeah, we sure did. We sure did.
Oh yeah, we got the belt. We got the spoon. We got the house shoe.
It was during the generation. You just didn't know it.
Oh, we sure didn't, because Granny wasn't scared to go ahead and pop up with the spoon, with the leather belt, whatever she needed to make sure we was getting right.
Yeah. And it's really good because it's kind of let you understand who is the boss, really.
Yeah. And teach you that respect,
Yeah, teach you that respect. But in all, I'm glad I came here. I gave my children another opportunity. But then now that they are getting tired of seeing out young black, because every time my children goes out, I have to keep praying.
Yeah.
And I have to keep praying. Back in Nigeria, you pray for something else, like don't let the kidnapper or somebody steal. But over here, it's the people in the uniform that you're praying, like, just tell them, yes, sir, no, sir. You understand? Just don't do nothing crazy,
Yeah.
And we shouldn't live like that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't live.
I honestly, that's like the perfect, intro to our question that need answer for today. And, it's really just regarding whether, definitively everybody feels like, the Black migration is necessary. So tell me if I'm wrong, Mama. It sounds like you're on the side that more so feels like, migrating or wanting to live back in African countries might be ultimately the way that, Black people want to go. So for you, one, do you feel like you would ever move back permanently, or do you feel like you would want to I know Dad was saying he would like to live half of the year in Lagos and half of the year here. So for you, do you feel like that's something you would want to do personally? And then just like in general for Black people, do you feel like that's something you would recommend an actual move back over to African countries?
Well, I think before you can decide to move back, you have to go visit. Because like I said, every country have their own
issues.
Issues, yeah.
So, like over here now, we have electricity. Ghana have a simple electricity. Nigeria, they could just take it off like that.
Yep, they have rolling blackouts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and this is 2022.
Yeah,
and I know that they could do it, but they don't want to do it. Just like
they're still developing.
No, they're not developing. It's just class. They want to
They just want to control.
That's it. When we first started, I said it's a human nature. Everybody wants to feel that power.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with this country is the same thing. It's everywhere, all over the world.
All over, yeah.
All over. But the thing is that you have to be smart. Like I always say, you have to find a way. There are places where they have electricity almost like 18 hours. But I feel like in Nigeria these days, with with so many other ways that you can generate electricity, we're still lacking electricity. We're still lacking good schools for children. I mean, Nigeria is, we have, like I said, there's a class. There's one side that is really, really, there's the other side that is like, you know. So, but I feel like everybody should travel.
Yeah, at
You
least
should
travel and
just
figure it
leave
out
this
for
country
themselves.
and travel, go and experience what you need to experience in life.
Yeah.
Then see how your perspective will change.
Yeah.
Yep.
You understand?
Absolutely.
We could sit down here and we talk about it. Go ahead and go and experience it. And
Yeah.
once you experience it, just pass. The way you look at things will be so different. And then you won't let anything stop you. The system here, they already have everything in place. It's capitalism. They're gonna do it. But back in Africa, no, they don't even want, even if you have money, they don't want to give it to you.
Yeah.
Over here, if you have money, they'll give it to you.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Over
true.
there, they know you have money, they want to keep it away from you.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's just
So
everywhere you
now,
go.
because of most of us that have come to this country and we're going back home, we are changing the narrative. We are
Yeah.
changing the system. You see
Yeah.
what
I've
I'm like
noticed
I
that
said,
too.
when you go over there, you can come back over here and say, hey, I ain't care about the government. I could do things for myself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you understand? I could do it myself. I can do it. You know, you have the mentality, you don't really care about you, even if the government are giving you something, you just use it to take advantage of where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let that stop you.
Yeah.
So Nigeria, you have the money. They want to keep things from you. We want to pay for electricity, but you don't want to give it to us.
Yeah.
But because you want is a class thing, you want it to be like my side have electricity, your side do not have electricity. And I feel like everybody have a right to, you know what I'm saying? We have,
Yeah. That's
I
a
mean,
basic human right. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Water,
Yeah.
you know? So, and I'm
Housing.
not
Yeah.
saying it's all the places because I could tell you to go to Netflix and you can see a lot of movie about Nigeria. We
Yeah.
have a lot of good places. You know, it's not like everywhere over here too. You have some good places. Like you were talking about Roswell, but you could go
Yeah.
some like when my cousin came here and we're going there, like, oh my goodness, oh my God, look at the streets. It's so nice. Look at everything I'm looking at. So we went downtown. So I said, oh, are you not taking pictures? So no, I don't want to go back home and show them that.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
That's the reality. That's what I took him downtown to see that it's not everything, it's not roses like you think.
Yeah. Yep.
And same
Yeah.
way we have it in Nigeria where
Right.
there are other area that I'm not good. That is some area I'm not gonna stay because
Right.
I've been over here and I know where to stay.
Right.
Because I can afford it. It's
Yeah.
cheaper for me. But how many people can afford that back in Nigeria?
Right.
And so same here. At least in America, they give you the opportunity if you work hard, you can at least afford some basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereby in Africa, you have to fight for that base.
See, and I feel like though still that might be a little bit easier fight than these folks over here in the States.
And I
but
like that. That's true because when people are looking at you with your skin color, that is a fight. That is you can't even fight that.
Yeah. It's just like when they already have amassed so much power, it's like how do we truly
because of my skin color that I don't have back home.
Yeah.
No. When I went to when I just came back, no, I'm free to go anywhere. Nobody's looking at me funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody's looking at me funny because I call home, I think I call, it's like, I haven't seen any, all I see is black people. Remember when I call United States, I say, all I see in Nigeria is black people. Where's all I see is black people? You know, that's what
I can only imagine. Yep.
But then when I went to Barbados Sandals, oh my goodness, everybody that came over there to chill are white people. I'm like, where are our people?
Working.
To enjoy.
Because sandals is money.
Yeah.
Right.
But we have the money. We just have to be smart to get it.
Get it, yep.
You know.
So, Mom, how you feeling? Do you feel like the Black migration is something that is ultimately necessary? What are your thoughts about that?
I think, like Susan, it's necessary for us to travel and see other places and experience definitely other cultures and stuff is always nice, but definitely the African culture, not just Nigeria and Ghana, there's Benin, there's Seychelles, there's, so because we have been so conditioned in this country to think of Africa as a country when it's a continent.
The continent.
With several countries in it. And so, I mean, you got Kenya, you got Kenya, you got Uganda's coming up. They've quelled a lot of the issues that they've had, and now their, gross domestic product is going up. All of the African countries are experiencing a lot of growth now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of opportunity now to do investing and stuff like that. We just need to be the ones that put our money together and start investing over there, because most of the investors over there are white people.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was listening to one video and they were talking about, it was some young ladies who had moved from Britain, from England, back to Africa. And they were saying that their families, or that, for years, people, we see in the United States, the pictures that we saw of Africa were kids who were hungry, starving, those were the pictures that we saw.
Yeah.
The violence,
we saw the jungle. We didn't see how beautiful the country is. We didn't see
how modern the technology is.
Legos, and how Cape Town and all of these places just absolutely beautiful. And so he made the point of saying, yeah, white people have been vacationing in Africa for years.
All the crazy.
The beaches there are unbelievable, are just unbelievable. But we didn't know that until, to your point, Susan, social media.
Yeah.
We start seeing the real Africa till we started seeing Africans post stuff on Facebook and say, this is the Africa they're not showing you.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a scripture in Genesis. I think it's Genesis. It might be Genesis 11, but it talks about it's the Tower of Babel. It's the story of the Tower of Babel, and God confused the language because he said, if these people can get and speak the same language, if they continue to speak the same language and think the same way, they're going to get to this. They were trying to build a
tower.
A tower to heaven, right? Yeah.
Right, tower to heaven. So he said, if they get on one accord, basically, they will be able to accomplish the thing that they put their mind to.
Amen.
That's what I see as a diaspora that we need to do. We need to start looking and saying, if we put our monies together, we go in there and we make some of these purchases. The problem is that for so long, systemically, we have been cut out of everything. So now, even with the opportunities that are opening up in Africa, we're coming in late in the game.
Yeah.
with some of, getting property and stuff like that. So I think we need to, like you said, Susan, just start rethinking how we spend our money here, how we, start thinking about saving, investing, and all of these different things, what we do with our money as American people, even though we barely are most of us are barely making it, but maybe just trying to figure out how to do things different and just start investing so that we can be part of the people that invest in our own,
land as well. The land that wants us and would accept us with open arms without looking at us and being like, not you. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. But okay, Caleb, give us your thoughts on that real quick. Do you feel like the Black migration is necessary? Do you feel like it's something that you will want to see for our people?
I would love to see it for our people, but people are going to have to decide if it's necessary for them.
Yeah,
I agree with Miss Susan and Auntie Brenda. I think that people do travel just to see what's out there, and then they can decide based on their personal needs, priorities, where they want to go, or if they want to stay in America. Like some people really prioritize affordable health care, and some countries have that a lot more than America. Some people prioritize affordable education, and I know, like, I think Italy has like a system where they do like free water. So all you have to do is buy a reusable water bottle, and you can go to any fountain throughout the whole like city or whatever, and you can get free water, and it's filtered and it's clean. You don't have to worry about paying $2 for something that should be free. You know what I'm saying? So just depending on everybody's what everyone prioritizes. I think traveling is super important just to see what else is out there, because America is not the end all be all.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
What do you think?
Agree more. I agree. I think, like my mom said, it really comes down to just the traveling, because I think once you get outside of just being stuck in one place and you really just have a chance to see what else is out there and really truly experience it for yourself, I think it just opens up your mind to what is possible for you. And I feel like that's probably been the issue with, Black people in this country for so long, is just feeling like we'll never escape what we're in, because we can't even like figure out how to be successful here. It's just like, well, how in the world am I going to figure out how to be successful somewhere else? But I'm pretty sure just even the alleviation of not feeling like a Black person that is going to lose, that, this country is rooting for you to lose. I think elevating past that mindset can be, wondrous. And I think that alone could definitely open up our minds to just what's possible. And the story, the Tower of Babylon, is that what it was, Mom?
Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel. I love that. I love that, honestly, because that's what it is. It's like getting on the same page, being able to speak with one another, being able to share experiences one another, so that we can speak to someone who's lived in Lagos and have her tell us, like, you just need to travel, like, and really be able to receive and be like, dang, that's probably a very true point. And, just ultimately everybody getting on the same page and opening themselves up to that love again, and, just really connecting on a much higher frequency than what we tend to get here in America. Because it's not about the love here in America, I can tell you that. It's about the money and the power, and if you're not willing to play that game with them, then 9 times out of 10 you're always going to be like wanting or finding yourself like in this space of like, ugh, do I want to be here, do I not want to be here? So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But we have unpacked a lot today. This was a great conversation. Like very, very honestly, truly, I am excited to travel. You already know I'm ready for the Lagos trip. Okay, I'm ready for the Barbados trip. I'm ready for the travel. We will call you. We will absolutely loop you in, because I do think it's important. And, as somebody who fully plans on being integrated into this family fully, I talk to Ma all the time about, just wanting to learn more about, the culture. Whenever her dad are like trying to give us little tidbits, I'm just like sitting there like a little puppy dog, just trying to soak in all the information, because I feel like for us, for Black people in this country, there is definitely that little bit of an empty feeling of just like knowing truly where your roots lie. And that's not something that we really get. And, we know that our people have fought hard in this country. Now, let me tell you that, like, we are proud of our ancestors, and we know that we are a resilient people. But at the same time, to also know that you were stolen from your land and never knowing what kind of life you could have had if that didn't happen, it does kind of leave a little bit of an empty space in us. But overall, I am proud of our people. I'm happy and excited to see all the cultures come together, and I'm definitely down for investing in African countries and African lands, and I absolutely want to see that business dynamic happen between us. So I just wanted to thank you guys again, my moms, for joining us.
Thank you, ladies.
Absolutely.
You guys are doing a wonderful job, and you could use your platform also to educate more Native Africans about the culture of the struggle here in America, and then so that you can start closing the gap.
Yep, absolutely.
And we have to understand we are one.
Yeah.
Just because we're conditioned in different way doesn't mean that we're not.
Yep, absolutely.
We sure a good are. Platform.
And we gonna get it together. We absolutely are going to use this platform. We all about the love here. We all about progression and just doing whatever is necessary to see us all win. Because at the end of the day, we always rooting for everybody Black. Shout out to my girl Issa Rae, okay? But yes, as always, y'all, make sure you like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more episodes. Y'all know we love to see what the people actually want to talk about. Please, if you have any thoughts or comments about this episode, you can go ahead and drop them in the comment section. We definitely always love to interact. And we appreciate y'all for spending y'all time listening in and joining us for Make It Make Sense. As always, thanks again to my moms for joining us, and we will see y'all next time. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.